Hello, Glenn Parker, High Vibration Foundation. I've been getting myself into more of an unconditional loving state in the beginning and making it easier to convey more information in a shorter amount of time, and conveying unconditional love through these videos, getting myself back to a time I remember of Satori, and the unconditional love to pour through me. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to talk about Bashar's Space-Time Antenna Project. What I want to do is I want to hire someone to do a 3D model of the space-time antenna to be able to make an electronic CGI model, and then one that could be sent to one of these newfangled 3D printers, and you can get a plastic scale model, scaled to any size that it needs to be done. And then, based on this plastic model, you can go ahead and run the wiring on it. It's much easier because you already have a plastic model rather than using cardboard or maybe even using plastic. But it's already fixed, and it will have the grooves in it to be able to go ahead and put the copper wiring or whatever type of wiring we choose to use at the time. I want to document this entire process from the time of the 3D modeling, from the time of the 3D printing. I want to hire engineers to be able to do, well, besides the space-time antenna, I want to actually build out the other two components that are supposed to be able to go with this. I'm going to communicate with Bashar Communications and see about getting as much material as possible, and getting the videos that are relevant to this so that we can look them over and make sure that they have as much information as possible to make them, to make the model the most authentic as humanly possible. The other forward-thinking goal is, once this is done, and we have an item that we can go ahead and spiral off and run copper wiring on, whatever kind of wiring we choose, to sell them in the future once they're built and tested out and they have a functioning working model, is to make them and allow people to buy them, because not everybody has time to make these. And the Bashar Space-Time Antenna is supposed to do many different things. It's supposed to be access more to your higher self, another dimensionality. It is creating a resonant vibration that other entities will recognize. I think this would go good with like a first contact crystal from Bashar Communications. So I'm hoping that this will be something that we can make available later on. What I want to do is I want to hire technicians to test this thing and put it through its process, because you have the space-time antenna, then you have a pyramid that goes over it, and then you have a dodecahedron that I believe that goes around it, if that's correct. And then you have these three items, and when you have these three, and I've seen somebody experimenting on the internet. It was an engineer, and he's like, oh, Bashar space-time antenna, blah, blah, blah. And, he's doing this, and he's testing, and he has some basic equipment. And he's like, more energy coming out than going in. I don't understand that, and that is bothering the hell out of me. So you see another video, and he has an oscilloscope and all this other equipment around him, and he's da-da-da-da-da-da. And there's still more energy coming out than I'm putting in. And then it just keeps building off. He did like 20 different episodes that were pretty substantial. Then he kind of dropped off, and he started building out some of the other components that was said to be needed for this process. So what I want to do is, I used to have roommates that were aerospace engineers. Matter of fact, they worked on the space shuttle, they worked on the recovery shuttle, the reusable shuttle that was going to be used for the International Space Station, that was very advanced. What I want to do is hire high-end electrical engineers that are very biased, that don't have, they don't give a twiddle either way of what's going on, so that there is bias. I want to document them going through this process, and I want to be able to show what happens when you're using this type of device, so that to be posted on YouTube for curiosity, and it will be search engine optimized for this new energies and for sustainable energies and everything and anything that I can think of that I can squeeze in there. And we're going to throw this out there for the world to be able to take a look at it and do like a little press release and stuff on it as well. And I hope to work with Bashar Communications closely to be able to get as authentic a piece as possible done. I want to document this entire thing. Maybe it will end up being a documentary as well, but it definitely will be in its raw form on YouTube. So it might be edited down and published later on, but definitely going to be putting all that stuff on YouTube. And I need your support. These things, building out these materials and making the 3D model and then getting all the copper wire and, you know, doing it correctly and having somebody do it that knows what they're doing. Having electrical engineers do it. High-end electrical engineers would be preferred, because I should be able to get my hands on some NASA engineers, people, McDonnell Douglas and TReb and all these types of things. And actually NASA, because my roommate worked for NASA right in El Segundo. So I want to bring these people together. I want to get critical minds on this, and you know, they're being paid to do this, so they're not, you know, they're not biased either way. I want them to go ahead and look at it and document it and put it through its paces and just present it to the world, because I think from what I've seen, just from the one person tinkering, it's pretty spectacular. So if it's built out properly and there's some proper funding behind it, I think that you can get a really end product, and you can actually offer these things to people that are in the community that want these things. And I want to offer them, you know, we're not going to make anything in the way of profit out of these things. I just want them available for people that want to use them, because, you know, as much as we can support each other in this new energy, the more and the forward, the faster that we'll go. So that's the idea, and I do appreciate you watching. And again, life coaching, business coaching, spiritual coaching as well. Always happy to have a conversation. And please, you know, whatever level of support you want to give, anything and everything is very useful. If you want to donate your time, you know, I would consider that as well. I do want this to be as unbiased as possible. So monetarily is probably the best way to support it right now, to make it as unbiased as possible. But, you know, I'm open-minded to anything. Email me. You know, send me a message. I'm always open-minded to chat about things. So thank you very much. Thank you very much for watching. Love and light, and have a fantastic day.